As you guys know, I'm a fan of The Boys. It's a comic book adaptation that actually is like surprisingly better than the comic book as people claim. I really liked the first season. The second season was like, not as good. And the third season was nowhere near as good. I hope that the fourth season actually brings it back. Okay. I haven't yet to watch the fourth season. However, from season 1 and onwards, it has objectively been anti-American military industrial complex, aesthetic liberalism. It is a very surprisingly good criticism of like American liberalism and all of its hangups. Obviously, one of the main characters is a man by the name of Homelander, who's supposed to be a joke about stereotypical like godlike Superman character and how they're actually a fucking psychopathic. How they're like a bloodless sociopath, right? What a lot of right wingers didn't understand was that Homelander is a bad guy. And actually, the entire show is making fun of conservatives and also making fun of even liberals. And yet, for some weird reason, only this season are right wingers starting to finally recognize that the show is making fun of them. This is finally the season where the right wing is done with The Boys. Here's a tweet from Lauren Chen. Season 4 of The Boys is out, and unlike the previous 3 seasons, this season has been drastically underwhelming as the show's Trump derangement zeitgeist has been turned up to 11.
The Boys, and a light has gone on in the hive mind of the far right, and they've realized they're being mocked by this show. Give you an idea of the media literacy of these people. In this little video here, she said that Trump should be flattered by his comparison to Homelander because Homelander's a pretty cool guy in the show.
That's meant to be an insult to Trump, but simultaneously, like, the show portrays him, Homelander, as kind of awesome. Like, if I'm Donald Trump.
No, they don't. You're so wrong. He literally has a tit milk fetish. He is unimaginably insecure, a fucked up mass murderer. Season 1 shows him doing incredibly awful things from the jump. He is perhaps the most powerful figure on the planet, and yet is simultaneously the most insecure person on the fucking planet. What is going on? How do you watch the airplane scene and still turn around and go, that guy is so based and so sick? It is like not even subtle. I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand it. This is not like an anti-hero. This is not like a cool anti-hero. Maybe it's hard for you to comprehend like what they're about. Maybe they're morally in a gray zone. No, he is very clearly in a like genuinely not subtle way first portrayed as this superhero, and very quickly by the end of the first season you are supposed to understand he is the villain. Even if you thought he might be the fucking hero in the beginning, which is fine, they very clearly tell you like, no, he's the bad guy.
Trump, honestly, I'm not even mad at that comparison. Let's be real.
You've just realized the show where the main villain is blonde-haired, blue-eyed, basically the project of eugenics and genetic engineering by the military-industrial complex, who wears an American flag to quite literally hide behind as he commits crimes against people he sees are inferior to him, is critiquing the far right. I'm not sure what planet you've been living on. You just realized this when the villain in Season 2, Stormfront, was a literal neo-Nazi without saying it. Made Homelander look like a walk in the park, and you're...
Stormfront does say it. She was openly a Nazi, not a neo-Nazi. Her name is Stormfront. And before you say, oh, what do you mean, Nazi? Like, was she alive during the Nazi part? Yes, that's like kind of the whole point. She was like an original Nazi and did not age and just kept the project going to reignite the Fourth Reich. Once again, no confusion there. Her name is Stormfront. Like, they don't hide this at all in the show. Again, not confusing at all. Homelander is dating her, and she loves Homelander because she's like, you are the perfect Aryan project. There is an entire 2-minute and 45-second sequence. The Boys Season 2, Episode 7. You watch a random guy literally get radicalized by far-right messaging online, and it shows you from point A to point Z how someone gets radicalized online. The idea that they could not see that and recognize this as like being critical at least of the way that they operate online, I'm talking about the far right, is so funny to me. How are you this delusional? What do you do when you are watching TV? I really think sometimes when someone is right wing, I really think that we're like different species or something. I genuinely don't understand it. Like, this is not subtle. This is not subtext. Okay. It's just pure text. What I mean by this, it's akin to like looking at a piece of paper that is orange and being like, that's orange. And then somebody goes, nah, that's black, dog. It's like, what are we looking at here? What, like, how have you watched this and you didn't understand anything? How? Like, when they make fun of a big mega corporation, military industrial complex like Vought, which is basically like this, you know, it has its own like news network. Fox News, by the way, is the identical news network. But like when they see Vought do like, you know, for Black History Month or whatever, we're going to put A-Train in the front. Like when they see that, do they think like they're making fun of liberals just like I make fun of liberals? Because like I don't think conservatives make fun of liberals in that same way. I think conservatives just get mad. Like they take that shit just as seriously as liberals do, if not more seriously. It's very strange stuff overall. Very, very strange stuff. This is from like the last season. I mean, this is from this past season when like the criticism started on season 4. I guess Eric Kripke, The Boys was always about Trumpism. The showrunner literally says he's fine losing the viewers who just figured out a social agenda. Go watch something else. I guess it's because season 4, and I wasn't aware of this, but I guess it's because season 4 directly like ties it back to the election cycle or something. Now, the critical drinker I have reacted to many times over. He is an outrage farmer though. He's just like a right-wing guy. How to Destroy Your Audience from The Boys season 4. This has 1.2 million views. 1.2 million views in one day. The critics predictably loved it. The audience unfortunately hated it. I need you guys to understand something. This kind of sentiment pops the fuck off on YouTube. People get so angry when finally the subtext is, I guess, like when a change occurs and like the subtext was never a subtext, I guess, is like so brutally bludgeoned into these fucking brains of these dumbass charlatan right wingers that they finally are like collectively like, oh, okay, I guess this is making fun of me. And then they just collectively look for some other fucking old asshole that will just churn out the most bottom of the barrel right wing nonsense.